Well, hello there, class, and welcome to the Fall 2026-27 HIF 530. What is the title of this class? Oh my gosh. Health Information Technology and Hot Topics, or something along those lines. A lot of words. But in short, it's about how healthcare information technology, HIT, can be applied to all the various things we do in healthcare, ultimately with the goal of improving patient outcomes. Now, this is a big topic, and we're going to cover some historical stuff about how EHRs are built, electronic healthcare records are built, just the components, not deep into the details. We'll talk about some ancillary technologies and functions of EHRs and other systems and how they interoperate, how they communicate. We'll talk about the underlying data that goes into healthcare and its importance for keeping it clean and let's say free as we can of defects to prevent biases and so forth. And I'll try to introduce some of the newer topics of things that are coming out in the market today. We're going to talk about AI, of course, but we'll cover some other topics as I start to make some adjustments to the some of the assignments later in the course as I look at them. But long story short, I really enjoy teaching. This is a fun class for me. It's something I really do look forward to every quarter or so. Feel free to text me. I gave you my information in the blackboard, but I'm always available for conversation or questions or just discussion on whatever you think is appropriate for the course. So by all means, use me as a resource. Let's see. One of the things I really have tried to do with this class is move it away from writing and more towards creating alternative artifacts that show you have command of the material. The very first assignment is still a paper. I need to change it, but nonetheless, we have other assignments that used to be papers but are now focused on infographics or PowerPoints or chats with generative AI on various topics that we're going to cover, and then using those chats as your source material for creating the infographics or PowerPoints, what have you. But if you ever see something that's a paper after the first week, it just means that I haven't found all the places where it's referred to as a assignment. But most everything after the first week should be lesser on writing and more on content creation as output from you exchanging very purposeful dialogue with generative AI. Now, I'm a computer scientist, serious computer scientist, 40 so years, got my graduate degree in 92 and my undergraduate degree 87. So I've been around computers when they were just green screens, and I'm old. I've been around for a while. And one of the things I've noticed over the past couple of years is that when I had papers, a lot of papers, I used to spend a lot of time fixing grammar as well as content. Now when I edit papers, at least before I've switched the course around a bit, the papers were perfect. Absolutely perfect. Somewhat bland, but perfect. And it was indicative of people relying too heavy on generative AI to create the output. So in the interest of making sure you actually learn the material and have some command of it after the class is over, what I'm trying to do is teach you how to use generative AI in a productive way. That is to say, it's a great tool. I use it every single day for coding, for developing content. But we have to make sure that it's given us ideas, it's given us content as directed by our ideas. In other words, we're not using generative AI in what's called a one-shot, meaning I'm going to give you a prompt and I'm going to take the output and I'm going to go turn it in. That's not acceptable. What is acceptable is giving it a prompt, say I want to discuss the architecture, say, of electronic healthcare record systems. What are the components in them? And describe to me what the components are. And then having the generative AI give you those outputs. And then say, hey, that's interesting. I never really thought of the let's say the financial piece, the billing as part of the healthcare record system, even though honestly that's what it mostly drives. But I never thought about that. Tell me more about how finance is interwoven with electronic healthcare record systems, and how does that affect, say, patient care? And then in that way, you can have a dialogue with the generative AI, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions deep on a topic. You're reading what it's saying, you asking intelligent questions back, and then learning about the material from a very good source of knowledge, generative AI, and not just copying and pasting the first answer it gives you. So as you get through the course and you see assignments, because every assignment week 2 on will have one of these sort of mechanisms, that's what I'm looking for, a meaningful dialogue with generative AI that's going to then help you generate the output, like an infographic, PowerPoint, or what have you. So it's a great tool to use, and I want to make sure you're using it in the best way possible so you can get the information here where it belongs and not just lost in a copy-paste buffer after 5 minutes when you turn the assignment in and you never think about the topic again. So if there's any questions about how to use generative AI or what I'm looking for, feel free to ask. But in any case, I am available all the time. Welcome to the class, and let's get started. Bye-bye.